Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Monique Denton. Welcome to another episode of Sis Table Talk. I am ecstatic, okay? I'm not excited. I have changed the word to ecstatic this evening because I have been following this phenomenal woman on social media for quite some time, looking at all of the amazing things that she is doing. I have the one and only this evening, Dr. Kishma George. You probably know Dr. Kishma for Kish Magazine, which has highlighted several entrepreneurs, both adults and youth, for Dr. Kishma's presence on social media, as well as LinkedIn and all of the things that Dr. Kishma is doing in the community. And our topic tonight is birthing your dreams. Birthing your dreams. You don't want to miss this. Dr. Kishma, thank you so much. Thank you for being a guest. I am honored. I absolutely applaud you for all the work that you do, but I just want to hand it over to you and just tell you to tell us a little bit more about yourself and all of the wonderful things that you do.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much again, Monique, for having me on your show. This is an amazing platform for you to be able to bring so many guests from all around the world to be able to empower and inspire all of the listeners. My name is Kishma George. I'm originally from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Shout out to my St. Thomas people, the islands right now. They're probably at the beach right now. But anyway, so I reside here in Delaware, okay? I reside here in Delaware. I am the founder of a nonprofit organization. It's called Kish Home Inc. is a 501c3. And we also, for the services we offer, is a nonprofit with aging out of the foster care system. I have a transitional home for young women. And then also have a mentorship program that I mentor girls and women here in Delaware. And I'm also the founder of Kish Magazine, which is an international magazine. It's print and digital. So I'm excited about the vision that God has given me.
Wow. So, okay. I always say that we have to toot our own horns. And you just told us, I know you told us a few things. I've been watching, and also, I believe, do you also have a ministry? Do you have a ministry as well?
Yes, I mean everything is combined in the ministry. I'm a TV host, I'm a radio host, I'm a TV host for Dominion TV Network, a radio host for Born Winners Network. I'm also an author. I'm a mentor. I mentor people all around the world. And yeah, I mean, I do so many different things. So they could just check out my website.
Okay, and for those that
I'm
would like
like,
to check Dr. Kishma, the amazing, the phenomenal, okay, and you just heard a few things. So we tend to be humble. I'm like, toot, toot. Let's talk about all those accomplishments. Of course, the website is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, Dr.
yes.
Kishma George, KishmaGeorge.com. So you can always go to the website. Now, I want to get into this juicy topic because this topic is something very near and dear to me, which is birthing your dreams. So,
hmm
when you think about birthing your dreams, tell us what that means to you.
Well, basically, birthing the dream means a lot to me because I personally had to experience it for where I'm at today. I remember several years ago, I had a psychology degree, and I was mopping the floors and cleaning the toilets with a psychology degree here in Delaware at a fast food restaurant. And people who graduated with me would laugh at me and say, like, she wasted her time going to college and now she's still at a fast food restaurant. But God began to speak to me. He said, you got to understand that with destiny, you have to go through the process. You can't just pick up a dream off of Facebook. You can't just copy somebody's style. You got to birth the dream that I have given you. So the things that we endured, even in this hour, some of you probably watching a replay, that you have been through some hardships and there's some obstacles that you're trying to go over. All of that is part of birthing the dream. I did not understand it at the time until God began to explain what the process is. So I
Mm.
remember as I began to birth the dream, what God did, I remember he shut the door at the fast food restaurant. And I remember leaving that job with tears running down my face saying, God, okay, what do I do next? And I remember crying out to him, asking him, what am I here for? What is my purpose? And
Mhm.
one thing about God is that when you stay before the face of God, He will download the things that you need at that moment. That same very week, He orchestrated my steps that I was able to connect with a young lady who here in Delaware, she knew about a position working with youths aging out of the foster care system. So my life began to unravel when I actually stayed before the face of God. And working with a youth agent out of the foster care system, I had a young guy, he was 18 years old. And I remember his 18th birthday. I'm from the islands, honey. We love to party. We like to celebrate. I'm telling you, we love to do it. And on that day, he was very sad because the foster parent, called me aside and said, Kishma, he has to go. When I'm not getting paid, I don't know what you're going to do with him, but he has to leave. And I remember driving all around Delaware. All the shelters were full. And at the end of the day, he had tears running down his face. And I was like, think, is there someone? He said, I don't have anywhere to go. He said, just drop me off at my brother's job and I'll sleep outside of the restaurant. And I dropped him off. And I remember going home, laying in my bed, and God began to speak to me. He said, I want you to open up a transitional home for youth aging out of the foster care system. So birthing a dream comes with experience and
Mm.
also comes with your obstacles that you, to me, that you face it in life, because that pushes you into really who you're supposed to become.
I absolutely love that. And some of the things that have been happening to me this week, I actually have had a lot of time to really reflect and
Mm-hmm,
have clarity on my business, the direction, who I'm
mm-hmm,
serving, how I want to serve.
mm-hmm,
And what kept coming to me, and I was part of this training this week, and the training, and I know you've been a part of some, and we do it in this coaching space, in this empowering space. We
mm-hmm,
tell someone to write a check, right?
mm-hmm,
Write a check to yourself for the amount that you would like to receive, or the amount that you know you're going to receive. And
mm-hmm,
when I thought about that, I said, okay, so in my Facebook community, I wrote a check. But see, there's a
mm-hmm.
second part. And the second
Yes.
part also comes with birthing your dream. You have to write the check, or you have to see
Mm-hmm.
the vision, but then you have to be obedient to what you're being told to do.
Correct.
And I feel like when you're obedient to what you're being
Mm-hmm,
told to do, that
mm-hmm,
whatever the needs are of the
mm-hmm,
people that you're serving and your own needs, that is paid in full, right? And it's going to happen. So as you're birthing your dream, how did it feel to be obedient, to actually listen to the word? I mean, that's
mm-hmm,
not open a transitional home. You had just left from working at a
mm-hmm,
fast food restaurant and you just got another job. I mean,
mm-hmm.
what made you say, you know what, I can definitely do this. I can open up a non I can do this.
Mhm. Well, it wasn't easy, honey. At the beginning of stages, walking with God, learning a lot about Him. I'm not gonna tell you it was an easy road. Literally, like he has, like, you know, how many times I dropped the dream, but I'm thank God for His grace and His mercy. What really pushed me into it was just saying, you know what, I want to do what God have called me to do. And when I give him a real yes, then I went forward. I remember when I finally got the transitional home up and running, I remember sitting in my car. I still had a 9 to 5 job. I was traveling. I was writing books. I had speaking engagement. I was moving. And then I opened up a magazine company. It was so much going on. And I was like, God, this is just too much. And I remember I was right about the nick of time to write my resume, like, you know, to my resign letter. And one thing about God is that when He invests in you, you just can't drop a dream. He orchestrated. It was a client that came into my office and I was running the case. I was a social worker doing welfare at the time and food stamps and benefits. And she came in to apply for benefits. And we decided to have a conversation. And in the midst of the conversation, I was telling her, like, it's a lot, you know, going on. It's just so many changes. And, you know, it's just so much for me to really, you know, it's just so much going on. It's just too much for me to handle, and I'm about to resign today. I had the letter up and everything, ready to press that button. I said, I'm out of here. And God used that woman so powerfully. She looked at me and she said, Miss Kishma, if you resign today without the permission of God, you will be sitting right where I'm sitting. She said, you got to understand that when you have a dream
Mhm.
and where you are going, you have to know how to juggle, how to balance, how to work under pressure, how things change and shift because of where you're going. He is using this as boot camp to get you ready for the next level of dreaming, the next level of vision, the next level of promotion, the next level of expansion. So if you can't pass this right here, you're going to stay at this 95 job until you figure it out.
Wow. Wow.
I'm telling you. And
Wow.
until when I stopped complaining is when he
Mhm.
said, okay, now you're ready to be released of this 9 to 5 job. But he was training me because you see, when you have a dream, it comes with responsibility. You
Yes.
have staff, you have clients, you have customers. You gotta, if they like you gotta keep on pushing. If the staff cuss you out, you can't drop your dream. You see what I'm saying? If you post something on social media, there's an event and 2 people like it or share it, you gotta keep on going. If you have
Yeah.
an event and 5 people show up, you gotta act like you do exactly what God have called you to do. Even if five people buy 5 tickets and you have 100 seats in an event, you got to still be moving. You got to
Yeah.
know how to push. You got to know how to grind. You got to know how to hustle. So all of that was training me for a backbone. And a lot of people don't understand, with a dream you have to have a backbone because you will not always get a yes.
That's
And a
right.
lot of people drop the dream because they don't get a yes. They get all these no's and they say, forget it, it's not going to work. I
Yeah.
put up my product line and 5 customers and I only made $100. It's not
Mhm.
gonna work. So the list goes on and on. But having that dream, it comes with learning, responsibilities, time management, juggling, all those things. So that's what I learned when it comes to birthing a dream. I'm telling you, you gotta go through that process.
Listen, I just gotta stop. We're only a few minutes into the broadcast. I gotta drop the mic. I gotta drop a couple of mics. I hope, and I'm just looking in the chat. So please, everyone, this is again Sisters Inspire Sisters. This is our weekly Sis Table Talk. We have an amazing conversation going on with Dr. Kishma George. I have in the comments, good evening, ladies. Blessings, Dr. Kishma. Wow, permission. Like, share. We are streaming live on YouTube and on LinkedIn. You can go to YouTube, copy the link, post it on Facebook, like and share. Please give us your comments, engage in the conversation. And we're talking about birthing the dream. And I hope you have a notepad out because Dr. Kishman just brought up a really great point in terms of the pain and the obstacles and the adversities that you have to go through before you actually give birth, right? And can
Yes.
you withstand those pains, those obstacles, and those adversities? Also, those no's, right? When you get told no without giving up. How
Mhm.
many of us have been in a situation where we've given up before we've actually been able to birth the dream? So, if you think about a process, right? The process, and you had to outline the process for us, what would that look like? What would the process look like? Is it first you get the dream, and then how do you even know that this is the right dream? This is the right thing for you to do. How do you know?
What I would say, how do you know, is because you build relationship with the Father. You have to stay before the face of God. I remember when I actually heard the voice of God, and that's before I even had a dream. I had to build relationship with Him. So then, when
Mm.
He tells me something, I know it's God, not myself creating stuff. Because for me, let me tell you what I wanted to do for my life. My dream was to be married at the age of 25, be married, have 5 kids, and never work for the rest of my life, and have a husband take care of me. That was my dream, okay? So that's Kishma dream. All right. So all the things that you see me doing, it was nothing on my radar. I never ever thought of half the stuff, probably all of the stuff. But when I began to have build relationship, then I began to birth God's dream. So He's able to dream through me. So as I build relationship, he began to explain what he wants me to deposit here on earth. I remember when I was going through the process trying to find the money, people were saying, Kishma, go to the banks and you'll get the money to get the transition home. I went to every bank, denied at the beginning stages. And then I remember leaving the last bank. I said, God, with tears running down my face, I said, God, take your dream back. I think you got the wrong person. It's not me. It's not working. And the Holy Spirit began to speak to me. And he spoke to me. He said, Kishma, go back to the prayer room. You see, because you got to understand that when you have a dream, you can't do it by yourself. You need the wisdom of God. You need the timing of God, the rhythm of God. A lot of times we have dreams, but we move in our own timing. And that's what I did. It's a timing.
Yes.
There's a rhythm. Just because God gives you a dream is not for today. It might be preparation. Do your research. Find out the mission statement, the vision, the services, your target population. Where are you going to service it? Do you have to move? Do you have to, locate? You got to put it into an outline. That's you can't just put a dream out there. You selling lollipops and you got all these crazy colors. No, what's the creativity with the lollipop? The taste, all those things. You lining up the dream. And I just went out there like that. God's like, it will kill you. So at the end of the day, sometimes when you have a dream, you don't understand that the resources is also within you. And I didn't know that. And God began to speak to me. He said, you're looking for the money, but the money is within you. And God said, go back to the prayer room so I could give you the wisdom, the strategies, and the ideas. And that's how the transitional home was birthed out. And I was able to fund it without government grants because he gave me the magazine. The magazine was a resource to start the home. The books, the plays, all those different resources I was able to take that and start the home. So when you have a dream, you got to have an outline. You just can't go out there. You have to have a business plan. Get your license, get a patent, get that structure. You can't build a house from the top down. You build it with a foundation. It starts with the foundation and you go up. And when I was getting mentored, my mentors told me this. They said, Kishma, when you go up, you got to stay up. So you got to learn to build. Get the paperwork, the legal stuff done correctly. Now, your logos, your website, all those things that you need, get it done now. So when you go up, you stay up. So that's what I said with the foundation of an outline when it comes to your dream. Find out the ins and the outs. Have a business plan. So when you die, the dream don't die with you. We eating KFC. The founder has been deceased. We eating Wendy's. And the founder has been deceased. Their vision is still here on earth. So when you have a vision, get the foundation of the vision from God. And you would the last question, which you said, you will know it's God, because when he tells you to do something, favor will always be your portion. I could sit there and tell you how many times I didn't have no money, but somebody will call and say, hey, I don't know, God dropped this in my spirit. I will go somewhere. Here's money or a check or something. So you will know it will all line up. Even though you might have little bumps, the main portions of the dream will come to pass.
This is so good. And when you talked about the process, and just because you are given a dream, it doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow.
Correct.
It doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. It doesn't mean that God gave me this dream so I don't have to do the work. It doesn't mean that you don't have to prepare. And a lot of times, even with giving birth, and we have the comments, amen, this is powerful, favor, timing, and rhythm. So all of this is so on point and so helpful to the audience. But it makes me think about when you are giving birth and when you're having a baby and you are preparing, right? Correct. So we have the baby shower. So when you have the gifts, you prepare the room. Correct. You start to shop and you prepare all of the things. It's not that all of a sudden you find out, okay.
Correct.
The next day you're giving birth, right? So there is a process that we have to go through, and you outline that for us so well in terms of really being able to overcome, again, those adversities and being able to say, okay, let me do the work. Let me do the preparation. And there's some things that we can't prepare for, but if the dream was given to us and we stick to it,
correct.
We can definitely get through it. So we're doing great with time. What I want to ask you now is all of the businesses that you have, which one for you is most rewarding? And which one for you? And then what made you, and I'm going to ask you this,
Mhm.
you know, who gave you the audacity to feel like, okay, I can be a successful Black woman and have all of these successful businesses. I did the magazine, now I'm going to do this. I opened the home for children aging out of foster care. And now, you know what? That's not enough. There's something else for me to do. I'm going to do this. Who gave you that audacity and that confidence to say, I'm going to do it and it's going to be
Mhm.
successful?
Well, to answer your question, like I told you, I never thought I was ever going to do anything like this. Everything is God and is the gospel truth. Literally, I spend time with God every day. I have a prayer room. I spend time with Him. Without Him, I would not be anything. I cannot do anything. I don't know anything. I stay before Him. He gives me instructions. So when
Mhm,
He gave me instructions, I follow them. I didn't know how to put a magazine. I never went to business school. I don't know
mhm,
how to do anything. When I was in the prayer room, He said, Kishma, this is what you need to do. This is the people you need to reach out to. This is who you da 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 da. And I would just follow it. I would follow
mhm.
his instructions. And I learned that along the journey, spending time with God. When he speaks, I move. That's how I do it. So it looks like, oh my gosh, every minute she's birthing something, but I stay in his presence for him to impregnate me to go forward. One of the most rewarding thing that I have done will be my first baby. Because like I told you, I never
Mhm.
thought I was going to do anything. My first baby is my transitional home. And just to see the women, it took me 7 years to get this up and running. People will laugh at me. There was like, Kishma, the dream is not going to come to pass. Drop the dream. I dropped it many times, but God's grace and his mercy, he kept me. And just to come in here, like I'm right here right now, and just to see the women going back and forth, they have a place safe haven to rest their head. Some of them have birthed their little babies here. And just to see, like, I could make a difference in the lives of women and change them, that's rewarding for me. That's
Yes.
just to see them have a place, a car, when they leave from here. That's rewarding because, I had a situation when a young lady, she walked in here with her social worker, and this changed my life because I remember when I first started, I was like, oh Lord, this is so much. Ah! At the end of the day, she walked in and she said, I belong here. She said, if I could get into Kiss Home Inc., I know I'll make it to heaven. And we
Wow.
looked at her and we said, what made you say that? She said, because when I walked through those doors, I felt the presence of the Lord. And I don't even serve no God like that, but I felt his presence while I walked in here. So just having these women lives change that's my first baby, is ministry.
Wow. I absolutely love it. And it shows in everything that you say, it shows in everything that you do. And if you could
Mhm.
let's say young women, if you can give them 3 tips on what they can do to really become the best person, the best version of themselves, and to live out their dreams, what 3 tips would you give them? And this is for young women first.
Okay. The first step I would say is find yourself. You have to be self-confidence. Have
Mhm.
self-confidence. You got to know your worth. You have to know your worth. Self-confidence and knowing worth equals increase. That's how you expand. And number three, I would say be a young lady of integrity. If you give something, if you say something, honor your word. That goes a long way. If you can't do it, just say you can't do it. It goes a long way. Ministry, business, friendship, relationships. Just be a woman of integrity. So self-worth, self-confidence, and be a woman of integrity.
Okay,
And of
self-worth,
course, love God.
yes, self-worth, self-confidence, woman of integrity, and
Mhm,
of course, love God. Someone needs to put that in the chat. Now, let's move to
mhm.
the older women. So,
Okay.
what advice would you give to the older women? So, let's just say women of
Mhm,
certain age groups that are thinking about birthing a dream, and they're like, you
Mhm.
know what, it's too late. Time has passed. It's too late. I should have did it 10 years ago. I should have did it 20 years ago when I first
Mhm.
graduated. What advice do you have for them?
Number one, the first advice I would say is always find a way to collaborate with someone.
Mhm.
Collaboration is key. That will push you into another place of your dreams. The weight want to always be on you because a lot of times as older women we tend to be competitive or jealous. So but if we kingdom is working together, if
Yes.
you could do it better than me, I'm gonna push you to do it because we're working for one God, Jesus Christ. So what I would say is collaboration, and actually don't give up on your dream. Keep
Mhm.
on keeping on. Keep on working on it until it begins to move. Keep on working on your dreams, no matter if no one supports you, if you don't have the money. Keep on pushing that dream until it begins to speak. It will definitely speak. Don't drop the dream. You can slow the dream down, but don't ever drop your dreams because life is going to come to knock you off course, but you have to slow it down, but keep on pushing for the dream. So collaboration, I would say collaboration is key. Don't drop the dreams. And the last thing is enjoy the journey. Enjoy the
Yes.
journey. Just enjoy it day by day. God wants us to have conversation with him. If it didn't work out, God, it didn't work. Talk to him. He loves that. So
Yeah.
enjoy the journey of
That
birthing your dreams.
I have to think that was so powerful. And I know that there were many of our viewers that were ministered to this evening. We talked about birthing your dream, but this was actually, to me, this was a sermon. I could actually say, okay, we're about to open the doors of the church. Okay. But I hope it resonated with everyone. And I hope you were able to take notes, and the advice that you have for women of a certain age. I absolutely love it. Collaboration. It's about collaboration. It's not about competition. If you're winning, I'm winning. If I'm winning,
Yes.
you're winning. How can we
Yes.
support, help, empower, and
Correct.
network and fellowship with each other, right? And
Yes.
share our resources. How many of us know we might have family members that are in the Delaware area that are in need?
Mhm.
And if you could pick up the phone, or if you could send an email, or if you could send a message and say, you know what, I know Dr. Kishma has a transitional home and can help there and can help. Or I can call Dr. Kishma for some resources. And that's one of the things that we have to begin to do. Social media, we have to also use it to our advantage in terms
Yes.
of these connections and these relationships that we're making and these relationships that we're building. So I want to thank you once again for being our guest. Definitely would love to have you come back. I want to
Yes.
thank everyone for attending again. I want to thank our audience. I want to thank everyone for their comments, all the comments in the chat. Please like and share. You can follow Sisters Inspire Sisters on Facebook, or you can also go to our website, sistersinspiresisters.com. We have a network of phenomenal women, and we focus on 5 core areas. And those areas are faith, leadership, entrepreneurship, wellness, and finance. And with the finance, we are also focusing on working together and creating generational wealth. How do we do that, ladies? It is always time to share, to take the forefront. Dr. Kishma shared a story with us and how she began her career after graduating with a psychology degree. And I hope you really took note of that, because that was a story and that was a revelation of that's where you begin, but it doesn't mean that that's where you end. And even though you had the psychology degree, you were working at a restaurant at the time. That was at the time, and the dream was birthed, and look where Dr. Kishma is now and all of the achievements. Once again, thank you so
Thank
much. We
you.
absolutely enjoyed this. Thank you everyone for attending. Remember, you can find Dr. Kishma at www.kishmageorge.com. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.